Wait, I have it right here on three. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, take it. There's nothing. So like basically that's the area. I'm what narrow is that. Apparently, like the whole time, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't. I don't really. Yeah, okay, so. And registered. And it wouldn't let me say, oh, and they kept saying, and Eric. Like I literally registered a week or two ago. No, is that really food? Yeah. Oh, they like, and then I was still, more. Is that like, you remember the, like, right, I go there. The person I was working there gave me all the information, and then the guy gave me the. I mean, I'm still enjoying it, but. Yeah. I was yeah. Yeah. That's what it is. Like a few like Everyone, you better get started. Good to see everybody. I hardly knows about you and just how very enthused and motivated you all are. So I'm looking forward to a very wonderful semester with all of you. My name is Dr. Rachel. My name is David Ward. I think I've told you all kinds of things from I do, I do, I be, and all of that. So I hope you learn to say my name. Can you say that? I do. Thank you. These ones sit on the knees. One of the things that we encourage is to make sure that you learn to see your students' names so that they don't feel like there's some
use the system is class for the system functionality start for the improvement people use. And I have just stepped out of the chat for a second. Please go to the teaching. But don't teach this class anymore now. Let's take it. So the course that's in the classroom. So this time it's been a long time since we had that. So I'd like to start by just taking a roll call just to make sure that you're on my roster. And then I'll give you the attendance sheet and then you can fill that out. Raise your hands and then every set.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anyone who has this name? So what do we do with them? So then we do the attendance sheet. Let's mark on your name first. So while you're doing that, how many of you have access to your computers? Can you pull up the course from your computer, please? And I'll be great. For those of you who don't have access to the laptop, I made a few copies of the syllabus just to make sure that you get one. I don't want to make for everybody just so it doesn't go to waste. So I just made a few. But if we need more, I can run into the last. So if you need one, please just give me. everything in that version. So, before we get to the syllabus, I'd like to just, I know I've already asked for the name, but you're going to do something more in depth for me for next week, and you're going to do that once we get to the syllabus. But for today, and I know that you probably met all your classmates already, you probably met them for two classes, housements, came together, so you're going to do together until you all graduate, so that's the thing about it. So, and you also, some of you want to know she's students. That's right. Okay, so you know that. Okay, so well, they all know you, but I don't. So I need you to introduce yourself to me and tell me how, just your name and your experience with young children. And there's something I need more in depth from you that I'm going to post to a discussion board for you to see. But to that, quickly, your name, your experiences with young children. We also want to, I would like you to tell me what you think that you have to do and PhD. You can start with some of you have done that. Some of you may have just have something from so that's all I need from you for today. My name, your experiences with young children, and also when at the video continue to end this. So we're going to get started with this thing. And that is Sarah. Yes. Thank you, Sarah. It's right there. Yeah, go ahead, Sarah. Thank you, Sarah. My name is Justine. I am in second semester, and I work with children at media. I work on antibiotics. So you need to use people. Yes, I understand. Does everybody know what that is? What? Okay. So you want to explain to them, and they like so I gave the partner system, and so they will show the autism and thinking. So that's and those are opportunities that people have. I remember somebody, one of our former students, emailed us. I recently knew this when I was in the program. I didn't know I could get benefits out of it. So, because we're not special ed, it's hard for us to know that. So, but I just wanted to pass that on to you. And for those of you who are applying for the ECED scholarship, if you are teaching kids or that a TA in a school, and you have after all the time for your scholarship, given that you teach the like
yeah, my name's Matt. I also took the course this last spring here in Northeastern, and currently I'm a program supervisor for the foreign care program that I'm in control.
Hi, I'm Nina. I'm currently working as a teacher as a physical teacher. I took 301. I took one of them at Oakton. Okay. And there's one I took it last semester. I'm not sure.
You probably did this
yes, the 303 I did at Oakton and 302 I did it last semester.
My name is Leah. I'm currently a nanny, but I've worked in a daycare before, and then I also took the courses last semester.
I'm Shamir. I took 302 and 303 last semester here at Northeastern. And I used to volunteer at the cafeteria. I used to teach second grade for like 2-3 years. So like I also used to teach other things too.
That's great. Where did you see?
It was at my mom's.
Okay, that's good. So, what other grade levels did you suggest I can set up?
I've taught grade.
Okay, that's good. So you feel that that's your passion and you want to do it. Yeah, go ahead.
My name is Elisa. I took three last semester, and I currently work as a PhD. Is it good?
Thank you. I took this practice last year and this semester. And I don't work in S4 now, but I do days. I don't work this. But you finished one. Yeah, I did. And this is. My name is Gabriela, and I took biology last year. And I'm currently I used to work in daycare and school as a teacher assistant. That's good. That's a really good leg into the system. It opens your eyes to a lot of things that we need.
My name's Arpad. I work as a gymnastics instructor for UK to 4th grade, and sometimes I do like 2-year-old and preparing classes. I took those classes last semester.
That's interesting. Are you interested in early childhood education?
Early childhood, just that we don't have enough teachers to teach the grade schoolers.
That's good. All right.
My name is Mandy, and I'm currently a teacher assistant at a daycare. I work with infants, and I took 303 last year.
Thank you, Mandy. Are you an infant whisperer? Yes. And I'm just kidding around because we have somebody at the school on top of them, we send our students to Nicole. And there's this woman who's been there for a long time, and they call her the infant whisperer because she just knows how to teach her kids. A lot of our students have graduated university. Okay, I'm Karina. I just recently stopped working at a daycare for 0 to 5-year-olds. I work with all the classes, and I took 302 and 303 last semester.
My name is Mandy, and I took those classes 2 years ago in the spring 2021, and it's transferred the other class from Truman. I'm currently working at a daycare, in the toddler classroom. I'm a TA.
Hi, my name is Jessica, and I took the 303 spring, and I don't have so much experience with children. I only take care of my mucus sometimes. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm Shannon, and I took 302 and 303 here at Northeastern. I was a TA for a preschool 3 classroom for a couple of years, and I babysit.
Hi, my name is Katya. I am taking 302 and 303 currently at Northeastern. I babysit as well as substitute at a preschool through 8th grade school. So I either temporarily sub in like mostly the preschool through second grade area, or I've been doing a lot of like maternity leaves and long-term substitutes. So I'm currently working in kindergarten for the next few weeks.
Hi, my name is Jocelyn. I don't have any work experience, but I have babysat before, and I have 3 younger siblings. And I started doing the last fall. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Nea. I really don't have much experience with children. I've taken care in the past of my nephew. And I took both classes here in Houston.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And that means that you have met several of our instructors already. Particularly that's an issue. How many of you took classes with the business care? How many of you took classes with missionary? Have you taken any of the classes across from those two? Those are the two. Okay. So thank you so much. And the next question I want to ask you is, how many of you have information about the ECA scholarship? Only very few of you. Okay, guys, how about you? Are you aware of the ECA scholarship? You're not? Okay, so nobody has ever told you about that. Okay, so, and I have to try and figure out how to get brainstorm to project some things. The ECA scholarship is it's a scholarship that was started by the state 2 years ago. So this is year 3 of the scholarship. And the intent is just to provide opportunities for people who have been working in childcare for a very long time to be able to, just have more social mobility. As you probably are aware, a lot of people who work in childcare are many of them are minorities, and they kind of just stay there because they can't move forward, because there are just so many other reasons why they're not able to move forward. Some people are raising children, at the same time as trying to go to school and trying to put food on the table. And so, just given the opportunity to be able to move ahead is very, very difficult, because all you earn is money to put food on the table, then there's no money to do anything else, to go to school or whatever. So what the state did 2 years ago was to start this consortium to allow people who have been working in childcare for a long time to be able to at least get the scholarship to be able to pay for school. So the goal is to have as many people as possible to qualify for the scholarship and to be able to enlarge the childcare system. As you may have heard on some of us talk, especially youth, all you need is to have worked with children for anything from early childhood, birth to 5 or so, to actually qualify. The ECA scholarship is a gap scholarship. And what that means is that it will pay for anything that your FAFSA doesn't cover. So you have to have all of your FAFSA first. And then if you have the grant, all of that has to be covered. And then the scholarship will cover everything else. And then for some other people who, some people have been would discourage people from getting loans, because once you get a loan, you cannot get a scholarship. So I encourage people to just apply first. So that is what the scholarship is. Some people have already started the process. Justin, you have already started the process. I know Bruce has started too. And pretty much all you need is any kind of childcare experience. That's it, really. You can be a TA in a school, you can be a, and what our party is doing also, is just absolutely, I mean, that's something is preschool, yeah, working with young children. So you can be a babysitter as well. So those are the qualifications that you need. And then, of course, as I said, it's a gap scholarship. So if you haven't applied, I'm going to give you the names of our mentor coaches. So these two professors are people that we have here who would actually help you navigate how to apply for the scholarship. We have had several application clinics already. We had one in July, I believe. I think the one that we came to was in July. We are hoping to hold another one this fall so that you can actually come and benefit. Let me tell you just some of the things that we have seen. So the first year, it was so hard for us to convince our students to even think they must be thinking that getting is going to be enough money. But anyway, eventually, last year we had a lot more people who applied, and people got more money than they anticipated. So they were asking us, "Can I spend it? Are you sure nobody's going to come after me for the money?" So, don't worry, if a lot of people were able to benefit from those funds that we had. So one of the problems we had the first year was we had the money because it gave us a grant, but we could not spend it because students were just not applying for the scholarship. But last year we had more people. So we had some other things happen last year where we gave mini grants to those who are already on for the scholarship or who have been approved for the scholarship. They got mini grants. They just applied for the mini grant, and it's money that you get no questions asked. We just say, because the money is at the state for there, you're supposed to be able to use it for rent, for childcare if there is children, for transportation, for your books, for technology, and things like that. And many of our students got about $4,000. I don't know if people will get that much this time around, but that was the money that people were asking us, "Can we really spend it? Are you sure?" So and then the other thing that we did was for those who are doing student teaching, we were able to also give them some funds, because when you're in student teaching, you don't get money to you can work. Most people are not able to work just because of the amount of time it takes to when you're in class 13. So we're able to support those students as well so that they're able to get some money. So the scholarship is really good. We don't know what the state is going to do after year 3. We're now in year 3, we're at the beginning of year 3. So we don't know what they'll do, but I've heard Governor Pritzker say, and I'm heard him say, it by name, that he has put the proposal on the desk of the legislators in Springfield. So whether or not they will pass everything the way it is right now, we don't know. But we're really hoping that that's going to happen. It's beginning to have traction. One of the things that really bothers me about the state is that they don't give a long enough time for things to work. And then they cut it like at year 3. People are just ready to know about this. Why are you putting it in? So but if you can benefit from that, I would really encourage you to do that. Even this year. So please apply. And I'm going to give you Ms. Mandy Schreier's email. Are you familiar with that name at all? Okay. Katia, do you know who she is?
Yeah, so I
She
applied for the
coach?
ECA scholarship, and she was one of the people along like the pathway of different like navigators and advisors that I spoke to.
Yeah, that's good. Yes. So herself and Dr. Gina Wells, those are the 2 people on our campus who are serving as mentors and coaches for people who are actually applying for this scholarship. So the state is really supporting people to the best of their ability. one of you noticed that when I sent you, the welcome letter, it was also, I also mentioned about some workshops we're going to be having. So those workshops are also being funded by monies from the state too. So, because those are some of the needs that our students have identified as, you know, things that they have needs. So, we're just trying to do as much as possible to defend them. Oh, by the way, I did not tell you that this, but one of the other things we've been able to do with the money, which the state requires us to do, is also to, if you had, outstanding school debt from maybe another college to here, or even here too, that is something that is covered as well. So we just cover what you owe. And I saw that happen during the summer. So there are so many benefits. So I hope I have been able to motivate you to actually make the effort to. So what I'll do is, instead of writing it on the board, I think I'm just going to send you the links. And also, so that you can be on that list. So thank you for that. So now let's if you open your, for those of you who have your laptops, please open to the agenda. Please start taking a look at the symbols that I gave you, or the one that's in the and we'll begin with for some reason, I'm not able to. All right, so anyway, without too much more ado, so one of the things I have on the agenda is just to really, share names and all of that. So what is expected this semester? So, I have graduated accessibility and a growth mindset. And, how many of you are familiar with the growth mindset? What about the growth mindset? What does it mean? Just a few of how about it? What does it mean? What do you know the growth mindset? What does it mean? Amy?
And then like don't give up just because you get something wrong, you try to find solutions to overcome it and get better instead of just saying you can't do it and giving up and staying stagnant in your ability.
Exactly, yes. Thank you. So then we want to, Nina, did you put up your hand?
I did, I'm gonna answer.
Okay. So pretty much, the growth mindset is for you not to go through this stagnant, for you to continue to strive, and for you to continue to work hard. And that's, somebody said to me the other day, I'm pretty old and, it's actually, if you say that, then that means you're actually dead, because only dead people cannot change or do something different. So, but we need to have that growth mindset. We need to be sure that we're really striving and that we're, not striving as if we're struggling. But to continue to know, how can I get better? And how can I improve? And what can I learn more? Where can I go out to get more information? Where can I go and get help? From other people. And if you don't know something, so instead of just giving up entirely, who are the people in your support system who can support you and who can help you through the process. So that through your knowledge base to add to your knowledge base or to direct you about where to go with that information. So in this class, I'm hoping that you'll be able to have that growth mindset and have that flexibility. I know that the beginning of the semester is usually, there's a law, more or less, but there's going to come a time when you are going to, restore classes, you're going to be wondering, oh my gosh, what am I doing? I have so much work. So, but just for you to do the course and also to practice, just time management and try to juggle as much as you can to the best of your ability, not to procrastinate. So that's part of the growth mindset is to just keep moving forward. So I did put here some of the things that you need, just tips to be successful in completing the course, and that's one of the things that you should do regularly is to log in to the course at the beginning of every week, and actually not just at the beginning of the week, but also throughout the course of the week. You are going to see on the syllabus that there are some weeks where there are no deliverables. Do you know what that means? Deliverables? That means that you're not turning products to me. You're not turning an assignment in. You will still have other assignments that you're going to be doing in the background, but it doesn't mean that you're not getting the paper or something like that. So any of those, and there are several of them. And so I've built those in so that you can have, you're able to better manage the course, but also just to give you a little bit of a breathing space so that you can catch up with things and also to be able to do these other things that you need to do. For example, there's the week that you're not going to be turning in work, but you're going to be preparing for a online activity assignment that are going to be given to the parents. So I expect you during that week to be collecting and getting your research done about what you're going to actually give to the parents. So yes, you may not have a paper or a photo to give to me, but you're still doing things. Okay? So just make sure that you log in regularly, just see what's happening. Always make sure that you review the syllabus, and the schedule, and each of the assignment. So based on some things that I noticed last semester, I tried to build in something, but just little things like, because this is a hybrid course, so sometimes you're gonna be here, sometimes I'm not gonna be. So those times that we're not going to be here, I put it both in the modules, in the D2L, and also on the syllabus as well. Because people have grown up here to say, oh, I never had class. We don't have that. Or when they're supposed to be here, they're not here because they thought, oh my gosh, I'm here. So you want to make sure that you log in. I made a class just checking the phone before. So you want to do that regularly. So for the synchronous class period, so like this one is synchronous. So that is when we're meeting face to face. So I call it two different things. One is IP, which is in person, and there's levels on each where we're going to say F to F, like face to face. So so those are synonymous. And so we will be meeting here on those dates that we're meeting. And then on other days, we're going to be working on one. Because there are some assignments that will be completed. And then we have some discussion forums, so you need to be able to make sure that you participate in those, do that for those. 3 of them for around the workshops that are going to be doing. So the one coming up on Friday is Zoom home, and so you can stay home and just log into your computer and you can see everybody, and everybody in the program from all the blocks will be attending. So that doesn't have any discussion question for that. But the second one, from Optin, yes, that would have a discussion question, and then the conferences at Optin also has a discussion question. And then I think there's another one. So we'll be responding to each other, except for the very first DQ. The first DQ is just for you to introduce yourself. So you don't need responses about that. So we will not be doing any responses. So if you are struggling, please contact me very quickly. Many times people will come to the very end when they're struggling. And they're asking, many times I tell people, now is to find out what's going on, especially if they're not training. So, but please don't just come and talk to me, okay? Let me know what's going on, so that we can figure out the credit limit. So practice time management. Make sure you read the announcements. So, I'm trying as much as I tried to do that today and it didn't work. I tried to see if I could post the same thing in 2 different spots so that if you don't get it in one spot, you get it in the other. But the computer will not allow me to do that. But you might overwrite the one that I had before. So I'm not able to do that. But please read the announcements. I'll let you know where things are. So all the announcements will be in all the assignments will be in the assignment folders. So you're going to see assignment 1, 2, 3, 4, and so all the assignments will be in those folders. So I think it was one of the assignments I was trying to post it in week 1 and then post it in the assignment folder. It did not let me put it in week 1. It allowed me to put it in the assignment folder. So just go there and check for things like that. Now, make sure that you set your notifications. So you can receive course information, as I post stuff, so that, you're able to get notification that, it's being posted. So we'll be going over the course syllabus right now, and what's expected from them. And I have one other thing. So anyway, so pull up your syllabus and then let's just go through it one by one. So, what we have on the first page is, just my information and my avatar. So I will be available for office hours between 12:30 and 3:30 on Tuesdays, and then also on Wednesdays. Sometimes I do have meetings, pulled out, especially on Tuesdays. So if that's the case, then we can arrange it another time that will work for you. And we can do a Zoom meeting if you work so far. If you can't come to the office, that's still be fine. But I like people to visit, from the city also, and that's how it is. So our textbook is this textbook. I ordered that and somebody emailed me that she's already bought hers. So this is what it looks like. So you can get it on Amazon. I ordered it to the bookstore, but you can also get it on Amazon, and it's, probably will be cheaper if you're able to get it from other bookstores. Not just Amazon will give you all kinds of different offers there too. So that's the main textbook that we are going to use. I'll be posting links to things like blogs, videos to support our course, so that you'll be able to help you to see how things are happening. Some of the things we're talking about in class, how those are really happening in people's lives. And I'm sure that you already know that, because I'm sure that you know how many of these situations affect you too. So, but I remember a long time ago that even to get access to those videos was very difficult, but we always relied on videos that were provided to us either by publishing houses or some, just some other people. I'll go out and make my own videos, but boy, when I think about YouTube and just the plethora of information that you can get from that, I'm thinking, wow, okay, this is really good. And then some other platforms also where you can actually get information. So that's pretty good. So page 2, those are the course objectives and the learning outcomes. So some of these outcomes will result in a deliverable where you give me something. So for example, the number 7, for example, you will be designing a home-based activity for a child in a particular family or in a family that you have chosen. So that is an outcome that will result in a deliverable, but not all of them will result in a deliverable. Some of them will result in just our conversation in class, group activities, group work, things that you can post around the room. So we are meeting those outcomes, even though I'm not asking you for it. Many ways of assessing something. It doesn't always have to be by you writing in paper. So that is what the running out is about. But I'll be pointing this out to you as we go through. And then, so let's go on to page 3. So page 3 talks about the construction work of our college, which is the College of Education. And so we have 3 main words that govern what we do here. That's reflective, whether we're supposed to be reflective people, practitioners, and so we should be reflecting on everything we do before we teach a lesson, or while we're teaching the lesson, after we taught the lesson. Even before you are standing in the room, you are looking out for kids and trying to see maybe students who may not even be paying attention to what you're doing or saying. And some of you have worked in either childcare or gym or some of these other, you would know what I'm talking about, because sometimes people equate like quiet kid pulling down like, oh, that kid is really quiet. He must be really independent. That's not true at all. And then sometimes you have kids who are really just up their feet, and they're talking to Karina when they're not supposed to be doing that and things like that. But it doesn't mean that they're not listening. And when you ask them a question, that's when you, it's like, I couldn't even think. How do you hear what I said? They hear you. So I always tell people, don't be upset when somebody looks like, when your child looks like they're not paying attention, because they're actually listening to you. It's not that they have to be doing something. That's not how they are wired. So don't worry about it. Doesn't mean that they're not listening to you. So, we have that. It's just we need to reflect on what's happening in the minds and what's going on. Several years ago, I was supporting some teachers, early childhood teachers in CPS. I was in this, that classroom with one of the teachers. So it was the end of the school year, it was June. And we were trying to do at that time it was an assessment that we used, and it was an assessment. So there was about this. It was an assessment to check whether with the ABCs, without looking at the wall, or whether they could even identify the letters in their names. Now, remember this is June, which means that by June, we expect that the kids could have gotten the skills, because that's what the teacher has been working on throughout the school year. So there's this one little girl who was always very quiet and always in front of the teacher. The thing that the teacher saw her, the thing that she did, but this kid never said a word. He was just always very quiet, always putting his personal resource right there. But in June, she could identify just one letter in her name. That was it. And the teacher was, she was very, she just really, first of all, was upset, and he wondered how she had missed the girl, because she was sitting in front of her. And she wasn't, this was a girl who was, she didn't forget at all. She didn't, or she wasn't married. So she was very upset. She was wondering, how could I have missed this little girl who said nothing throughout the school year? She was very quiet. She was in front of her. So we came up with a plan. Part of that was for me to help her at least for the rest of the school year to be able to do some other kinds of activities that are really just sitting down and not doing business. So we went out and then the school hunting for letters, to do different kinds of credit activities that we can have Monday, so that we can identify the letters. So it's not just even identification anymore. If you cannot identify the letter, how can you use what the sound of that is? So that was a very eye-opening experience for us. For me too, I just said, yeah, I'm probably just in front of you, doesn't. So So, and then, one of the things that I did too was to devise some kind of home learning kits for the learning family. So that I think the parents will work with that. So, those are some of the things that we need to think about. We also talk about collaboration, and so some of your, if you look at the assignment that you do by yourself, there are assignments that you're going to do in pairs, there are assignments that you're going to do in a group. That's a bigger assignment, I mean, the bigger group working on the assignment. So that is collaboration right there. Yeah. And that's teamwork. You're not even collaborating with your peers and even in your workspaces that you're engaged in teamwork with other people. So these are transferable skills that you can take to something in the resume and things like that. So collaboration is such a key part of the mission of the college education. And then class committee. So we hope when we accept, we hope when we desire that when people live here, there's some kind of understanding and communication that are taking place that will help you to be able to support the kids. So, all right. So now the next part is all of the assignments that we're going to do. So I put them in 2 weeks. So week 1, what you're going to be doing. So pages 3 and 4 have all of those. So during week 1, you're going to be doing that DQ1. So that is the discussion question 1, which is just pretty much self-instruction. So what I have there is for you to say your name, your experience with young children, like you just did, and what type of learner are you? I want you to tell me the kind of learner that you think you are. What is their learning style? So for people who may not know what their learning style is, I just put a little bit of the just a little bit of information in to help you understand what's learning style. And it's very, very simple way of describing this. So, who are the auditory learners? And who are the visual learners? And who are the kinesthetic learners? Now, that is very consistent. And I will tell you that he's not auditory at all. So, but he writes things, yes, he's always writing something because that's how it connects with him. So, so they have to move, they have to touch, sometimes they have to write something. I am very auditory. I can hear something once and I can repeat it to you in another week also. But it doesn't mean that you cannot take all of these other visually either, or you're doing something. The important thing is that we want to use all of this skills, not just auditory, but also visual, and also we want to ask people to do something so that it can help them to understand the information. So those are the things I want you to put in your curriculum. So this is what you're going to see when you open EQ1. For those of you who have a laptop, this is what you see. Okay. Then so then the other thing is also Friday Zoom workshop. And we are going to be there in kind of secretaries. So so just log in. I have already put the link on the welcome letter and the announcement here. Would you like me to send that out again? Okay, I'll do that. Just to remember. Then week 2, we have the parents involvement of the Bible. So remember this class is about parents or family involvement, not so much parents only, but families. We have families where you have uncles, grandparents helping to raise children. And so we don't so much call it parents as much anymore, we just call it families. There are so many generations. We have intergenerational people living in households that are really helping to raise these children, to raise children. So now, with this particular autobiography, the question is for you to go down memory lane for yourself, and talk about your own, what you remember about your parents and your families and their involvement in your life. You know, what do you remember? Were they all only at school? Were they, how did they even deal with the teachers? It's always a good journey when people go there. Some people don't remember, so they don't remember their parents. So, but think about yourself and think about, you know, what your parents did. One of our daughters taught in Chicago Public Schools for 10 years. And she would tell you up till now, didn't remember really well. She taught secondary. And she always has a second grade, you know, just a picture of the second grade and her bike into school. That's only you know, at the beginning of the year. And just so that they don't know that she's doing that too. You know, she's very second grade once upon a time. And so, but she will also tell you that about my own involvement, because at the time I couldn't be as involved as I would have loved to in her life, you know, in her school and her siblings as well. And there are things that I did at home that would support them at school, the school teacher, but I was the room mom, and my job was to take my kids read things like Pulaski and Shaw. I don't know, does anybody here know those books? Okay. So that was, so my daughter would bring it home and I would order that for all of the kids in the classroom who wanted to order these books. So the order would come to our house, and then the next morning drop off the kids with all of it. So that was the extent of my involvement once upon a time. I just could not be there. I do what I do. So don't underestimate what parents can help you with that time. As well. So some people didn't have things to help you do it necessarily. They can do it with you. They can trace stuff for you when they're to school. And if you ask them, they'll be very happy. So, but this assignment is for you to go down your own memory lane to remember, try to remember how your parents supported you. Then week 3, we have the module 1 summary and reflection. So for the modules, you see that there are about 3 chapters for each module. So for module 1, for example, you are going to see 3 different 3 chapters 1 to 3 that actually referring to that module 1. And so what you want to do as much as possible is to look at each chapter. Don't wait till the reflection is due before you start reading. Just take notes as you read each chapter so that you can try to, as there are other more information, so that you can actually memorize information in the module. I'm going to upload for you is templates that I would like you to use for this. For the summer, you put 3 boxes, you know, where you take 1 or 2 sentences from each chapter and summarize it in 1 or 2 paragraphs, and then your reflection and your application of that information. So, don't just read 1 chapter, I'm looking for information, the summary. And if you look at the topics actually of the, if you look at the topics of each module, it will tell you really quickly what the module is about. So like module 1, for example, it's just about introducing you to Candy. I mean, you already know Candy, but it's just introducing you to Candy's state. And then module 2 is talking about what sometimes you have partnerships, you know, we look at examples of those. And then methods for developing partnerships. And then the last one is just about, you know, how to make the partnerships work. So those are the 4 modules. So, but you have a good chapter on that module. So keep that in mind as you do the summary and the reflection for those. Now, for week 4, we'll prepare for week 4 before week 4. So next week is when you are going to choose partners. And week 4 is going to be the journal article presentation. So what this assignment is for you to work with 3 other people to actually I think I had 20 people in this girls. So it's for you to choose a professional journal article that you are going to, all of you will work on together. And you can look at different parts of the article for your presentation. So you need to do a summarization of the article. You need to critique the article, and you need to talk about the implications for your students. And for yourself too, as a teacher of young children, what does this mean for me? If I'm reading into this, what does that mean for me as a teacher of young children? How do I apply this in my classroom? Or what are the implications for me if I know that? You know, once you know something, you cannot unknow it. So, so you have to now deal with that knowledge that you have, that information. And you can see it. So now that I know that, how is that going to affect me, or what does that mean for how I relate to the families in my classroom? So, next week is when you're going to choose groups. I don't put people in groups. You are going to just look for partners for yourselves. And then I'll bring the sign-in sheet that you're going to sign in. And then I'll know that that's your group. So the first group is going to be doing their presentation. First and second groups will be doing their presentation on week 4. And then 5, there is no deliverable that week because it's the general review presentation will continue, and then week 7 is when we'll end up. So I don't know whether the other students are going to come or just wait and see. But I had to. So that is that, and then week 5, there's no deliverable. Is that a Monday? It is. And then, so, but even though there's no deliverable, many of you will be working on the DT2, you know, that will be due. And then also just given DT2 is after the opening May College Professional Development, the September 9th Professional Development and is just absolutely phenomenal. In terms of the information, the presenter is like wonderful. That's like really very highly regarded. All right, then week 7, no deliverable that day, however, the general review presentations will continue. We are meeting in 7, but there's nothing for you to punch to. Now, week 8, there's even one activity that's going to be due, and I think that's probably the floor of the. So, what I will be doing is introducing you to these assignments as totally as possible. Please don't complete an assignment, especially when it is in one without me explaining it to you in class. So that you can complete it successfully. I think it's really good to be able to, because I want to be able to tell you some of the experiences of people that have maybe done this assignment maybe last semester or the semester before, and some of the experiences that they had completing the assignment. So you don't know that, but I do. So I want to be able to share some of that information. For example, this homeland actually assignment can be very, very interesting. It's a very interesting assignment. People really get into it, and they present it to families to work on and all of that. But sometimes you don't get your assignment back from your family because you traveled or they're on vacation or something like that. So you don't want that to happen. So those are tips that I can give you to let you know that, okay, you really need to make sure that you are talking to your families so that they can get that kind of out. All right. So then there's conference, and that one is 30 points. And then you have GK3 in week 9, and then you have the last fall workshop attendance. Again, that is by Zoom. The only one that's not by Zoom is the one in the Community College the conference. So then with 10, there's a parent teacher conference video that you're going to post. So this is the assignment you're going to do in pairs. So you're going to choose somebody to work with, and you're going to have some guest speakers to come here and talk to you about the tips for working with parents. I have such a great team of people in the early childhood program who have a great deal of experience in CPS, and talking with families in different situations, and navigating legal reviews and things like that. So I think it's a really great thing for us to have that. So last semester, I had somebody come and we did the parents conference together to model after the class, and then I presented some videos for you to see. It's like a mock parent teacher conference. Last semester, students did their parent teacher conference right in front of all of us. So you and your peer will sit here and just do the conference right there. I know many people felt like they were going to follow the face of the earth, but anyway, they're still alive. They're still alive, and then block 3. So, but okay, I'm choosing not to do that. I'm choosing for you to do the video of you and your friends, doing your parents. And you're going to post that video for all of us. So it's still better than you doing this in front of us. You're still going to see it, but at least you will be alive by the time we finish. So that's that. And once you finish that, you have to post it on YouTube and all the great. So we'll rate it and then post our responses. So with 11, module 3, summary and reflection, we're going to have that. So with 12 and 13, there are no deliverables. However, these 2 weeks are weeks in which I'm going to begin to collect data for your last assignment. So, and that I purposefully make sure that there's no way they're going to meet something because I would expect you to be working with your group of 4 or 5 people to not only start your last assignment, but to begin to get the data right. So when we get there, we'll see that. But I just wanted to know that that's the reason. With 13, it's also the week of Thanksgiving. So many times in the past, with the first day. So I guess I would just use as an online class, and instead of driving it because so you can enjoy the turkey with the families, but you know, it's okay. Yeah, and then with 14, it's the last summary reflection from module 4. And then with 15, it's our very last class is when we are going to do all the presentations with management projects. So you and your peers will come up here, and you are going to talk to us about this assignment that you have. It's a community resources assignment. Yeah, you are going to be looking at assets and needs of a certain community that you choose within Chicago. So it needs to be a Chicago community. So people will choose different communities to look at. So we are going to talk to us about the demographics of the community. I'm going to talk about who lives there, what the income level has it changed over time. When I first came to Chicago was going through a lot of gentrification. And just in making this that necessary. Yeah. And it's still going on now too. It's also it's still in. What's been very comfortable. What no one will do, but it's going through one of those. You can see how the income from the people, about their how they're looking to see our taxes are going up, if you want to afford the taxes. So, so there's so many things that are happening. So you want to, those are things that we're looking at in this particular project, like what has changed in the field of the coverage change over time. Sometimes you have some people who goes, and these are the people more in, and then the demographics just change. So it's a very interesting assignment. You'll be using the internet for your research. Just very cool. So it's an interesting assignment for people. So in a nutshell, that is the those are the points that you get for a practice class. Now, so page 5, because tells you the grading scale. So everything done was 1,500 points. So the grading scale is a point system, it's not a grading system. Are you familiar with it? This is where maybe one but this one is a okay. So and then unless under extenuating circumstances, please don't ask for an extension. But work as much as possible and just get it. People really struggle in the because if you're behind in that work and for all classes you're going to be taking and more money for a little piece. Content your 1 is content heavy. Your 6 is content heavy. 3 by 2 is So this is one of the, this is the course that has the least heavy content. And I've also been seeing some previous too. Now, that doesn't mean that you should read it all done. You with other professors work. Not gonna like that. So you need to be doing that all at once. Okay. All right. And then so the schedule is on pages 6, 7, and 8. You're going to do pages 6, 7, and 8. Prepare the schedule. So bring back the highlighter, highlight the schedule, you know, what's next, what's happening next, and things like that. I'll try to also post so that you can see them. So, but it just really gives you a play-by-play information about what we're going to be doing. So, we're going to be having a lot of stuff to share and stuff. Okay. Then, page 9. Is where in what I have there in the brain is that should we wait for a classroom discussion on the major assignment before you complete them, so that you can successfully complete. If you need time or explanation of any assignment, my assignments are pretty straightforward, but if you need any further explanation, please don't hesitate to contact me. I'm really good at responding to emails. Okay, then also because we're not meeting every week, I would really appreciate if you can come to class in which is available. Because we do need to be there. So not going to this have maybe 3 or 4 people in class because the hybrid because so that they don't need. If I don't see you, that means that I probably see, if I don't see you on the day we have a class, I probably won't see you on the next week. So for consistency and for just being to have good momentum, try to be here. So that is what actually is. I would really appreciate your participation and I'll be telling you that. Now, at the bottom of page 9, I talked about this division. That's one of the things we measure. That's one of the things that the state wants us to measure, the position. So if this is one of the classes we are measuring that. And this position pretty much just talks about attitudes and just ability to handle conflict and just react appropriately. So again, if you have a growth mindset, then this will not be a problem. But whatever the feedback is still constructive and it's going to help people know that there are areas that can be used for improvement, in writing or whatever it is. So then also in terms of class etiquette, let's look at all of those and get the respect of each other's ideas. And I do not want to squash anybody's ideas at all, please. But we need to respect each other's ideas and we need to disagree with points in a respectful way. Just offer a different point of view and address it appropriately. Okay, so I have this polynomials during class time. And this one is a very, I have an interesting story behind this. So, several years ago, I didn't have this rule at the time. So people would come to class and they bring dinners. So, and I still remember this one student who would bring this very aromatic spaghetti to class, and it was just so, not so good. And, of course, she was stood at the back, right where she was sitting, and just gave us spaghetti away, of course, the aroma of the spaghetti makes everybody hungry, and people are looking and they're looking at me, and you're thinking, why don't you do something about this? But anyway, so it was after that that I thought, okay, we can't be bringing hungry card into class. Because people are really hungry, at this time. So, but you can bring your snack to class, you can bring water, you can bring a drink or whatever. I also bring some water things too. So, but we cannot have it. All right. Oh, and I added some snacks. Okay, yeah. And number two. I think that's one. And I still remember he had a spreadsheet, very long, this one, but you just break it like that. Are you familiar with those? And she was silent lunch, and so it was midterm, and I don't have exams for you guys, but then I had an exam, so she just would bring up some right in the middle of exams. So people, right where our party is sitting, will say, well, look up at me and say, what's that? She's munching away. While people are trying to get their, do their goods. So that's why I decided, okay, people can bring snack, but it has to be a software. It cannot be a hard snack. So yeah, so very just really interesting. Those are my teacher stories here. I have stories about little kids too, but my most recent ones are here. So I'm sure you have yours too. All of you are working in schools. I know you have your own teacher stories as well. So, but those are my stories. So I'll expect you to participate and always put your phone on silent. All right. So that's 9, and 9 is just, oh yeah, I better remember to tell you about it. So academic integrity policy is what we've written. So plagiarism is forbidden. Please don't let me go and just put your sentence in Google or ChatGPT and find that you have actually asked ChatGPT to write your paper for you. Yeah, we can find out. We actually do some training about that, how you can find out. Somebody has asked ChatGPT to write your paper. So you don't want to do that. Just try to do it. That's it. So I'll be checking for this. So use outside sources and always add outside sources to your paper. So you will have some assignments, for example, the home learning activity assignment. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to recreate your own. There are tons of lessons there and assignments that you can look at the developmental appropriateness of it and repackage it to send home. If you do that, just say that you're adapting it, for your use. And sometimes you will see that some things that you find maybe for children who are maybe, like if you're working with a 5-year-old or a 4-year-old, you cannot be asking them to do certain things because they're not at that level yet. So you have to adapt it. The activity may be wonderful, but you have to adapt it to their level so that you can actually do it. So just put adapted. This is where you have to be really thinking, how can I adapt it for this, for that little kid in that household that I choose to work with. We are doing just that application. So you have to be thinking about the developmentally appropriate level of the assignment. And also for the particular child that we are working, because children are different. There are some 4-year-olds that are not reading yet, and then there are some 4-year-olds that are reading. So you have to adapt the assignment for the particular child that you're working. And I have a ton of samples that I'll put in the folder so that you're able to see the skills and resources the adaptations. So ADA statement, if you need ADA accommodation, the first place to go is the accessibility office, and usually they will email us to let us know that we need to accommodate you, and but you need to also sometimes people don't tell us, and then they struggle, and then that's how we get out. But just tell us. We're here to support you. And then if you need help with writing, then please make sure that you go to the Learning Success Center for help. Do that. Okay, I think pretty much actually that's it. So here's what policy I have in here. I'm going to be emailing you if I don't see your work. So make sure that you sending your work at this time so that we don't have to be looking for you. So I am looking forward to the rest of the semester. This semester, to working with all of you. The machine has some really great things that you, for those of you have had fun. We had a balloon on the night. Okay, so we have a really good group coming along. Very good people. So there are 18 people here today. I'm so for next week, I will say I'm going to give you a little bit of a break, and then I'm going to bring you back to class for the teaser. So we for next week begin to think about who you want to work with for your journal. The journal review. So begin to think about that. You just need to look for so next week when I work in this journal review, so I work in this part of work and that's what I want to do. So there's quite enough time to do that already. You can try to go a little. So let me do a quick 5-minute break. Water break, classroom break, snack break, whatever. And then come back and one person you have a teaser first before we begin. So let's take a deep breath. I'll give us regular breaks during the week, starting from next week or how you want to do it. Yeah, that's 15 minutes. I'm giving myself the time, but so like.
We'll have to, the advice we have now, and he's I know
Okay, shall we regroup? So I'd like you to just put yourselves in maybe groups of 4 or 5 or so, and then I'm going to just throw out a question and you are going to talk with your group about this question. Provide points for and points against. So please move closer to your group. These that are not big, if that and that was because we actually speak with the chair. But yes, so just organize yourselves in groups like so where is the group? One big group over here. Okay, so that is how many of you, Gary? Where do you go? Okay, Gary. Okay, 5 of you. Okay, so that's where are you? And Sarah. Okay, you wanna go join Lexia over there?
Yeah.
Okay, Sarah?
You wanna come over here?
Sure. Why not? All right, so the question in your groups is who owns the children? Who owns?
Mhm.
Do children belong to their parents or do they belong to the state?
Mhm.
So that's my question to you. I need you to think about points for and points against. Okay, and give me examples as to what your points are. On the news last night that really made me think. Anyway, that's my question. So talk about it in your groups. Who makes the decisions about children? Yeah.
I would say the parents. Definitely. I mean.
I think it's a combination. I want to say parents at first because the parents dictate what you do at home. But for like 20.
Right, too. So like the students, the kids are in school most of the time, and the teacher is the one that taking care of them. But yeah, yeah, the kids are like at the school, and the teachers in charge of them at the school. So, like this, either way, it's kind of.
And I also think more so just like too, because parents can't say what the state can do. Like the state ultimately has the same system and what you can and can't do as a parent. So it's also like the state is so broad and what can really make decisions that affect your kids because you have no say in what they ultimately decide. So yeah. Like they 60% and like the parents 40%. That's yeah. It's like a balance almost. That's where they learn everything they need to know, Rich. So
Feel like the eight.
Yeah, that's true. And like if they don't have anything at home, they have the resources in school, so it always comes down to like the school. Right? So, like,
What? Oh, the question was like, the, does the child belong to the parent or to the state?
Which is funny. The one who's this one. When it says, it said, we'll see the projector. So I've always used the name. It's not, and then since there's nothing. Yeah. It should. It shouldn't have. For this. Like to use your stuff. Yes, right now, that's just that's just the.
this will show up, it should run the sign in. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Trajectory stuff.
Like right in front of the straw, and then it was.
I hit major trajectory. Showing that, but it's not showing me. Do you know how to mirror displays?
But good thing you got. Once you talk to your friend. Yeah, that's what the doctor.
He's reading that.
Oh, she wants to-
The other thing might be. If you go to-
Here.
There's another option there. I want to. Mars. Oh, shoot. But, yeah, well, sorry.
Yeah, you did. It's like, I think you should.
This is usually provided. But, well, you know what, you've got two things here. It's for the BTA. I didn't realize you had both of those. Well. Yeah. So what class is this? Yeah. Next. I'll work back to-
We have. The problem of the whole work. Did you think if they next week? So let's talk about your discussion. I want to hear from every group about your discussion. I see a lot of people were laughing and this way.
wish I could share your what you are laughing about.
Mm.
But yes, so tell me, who owns the kid? To whom does the kid belong? To the state or to the family? Not to both.
Yeah, I'll start. So we talk about how it's more like case by case basis. So in general, it's more like the parent. We also, like the other side, like the state also has more like jurisdiction, like if they want to take a child from like a family, if the parents aren't like providing a do on the state has that jurisdiction. Like, oh, the child. Really, we want to say it's more like the parent, but it also can be like state can have more power.
All right, let's start from, thank you, Matt. So, and actually, I can stay back. So how about Justine? How about your group? Our group was pretty much pros and cons in both areas. So, more or less, think out what you guys said. I mean, yeah, ultimately a mom and dad or mom, dad, but like you said, if they're not feeling the nourishment, the nature, everything that they actually need and essential, I don't think they compliment. Okay, okay, I wanted to, so you said you had more to say about that. Go ahead. Interesting question, like you own somebody, but like, Shamir was saying like after 18, the parents are not like, no, they're an adult, and no one owns us. So like, for like kids, you want them to be independent, so like someone has to guide them, so we were thinking more like the parent in that aspect, but then again, there's certain circumstances, it's a gray area. Or like when it comes down to like abuse or not being cared for properly, like then I feel like that's when the state really comes in and owns them and places them in the foster care or wherever they, are safe. Like where we were laughing. Okay. Shimio, did you say that what did you say about awareness and health?
So I was like bringing up new practice. But it's just where it's cheap there. And then really just it's you know, parents.
Yeah. So okay, how about let's hear from everybody and then I'll ask you another question. Okay, so as far how about your group?
We focus more on the like educational aspect of it,
Okay.
and so we were thinking about how like the state makes all these requirements that like the students have to accomplish, where it's like they need to know how to like read, write, do whatever by these grade levels, and those are all set up by the state. So it's kind of leaning toward the state, but it is ultimately the parents' responsibility to make the students do all this. But then if the parents don't do that, then the state obligated to collect it. So it's kind of like it's the parent until it's not. But the state has guidelines the whole time.
Yeah.
So that's like the state makes the path, parent has to guide down the path.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Thank you. How about your group? Mandy and Rina, Jessica, Jocelyn, Mirella. Yeah, Mireya.
So we kind of put it in like a 60-40 kind of ratio where it's leaning towards the state over the parent because ultimately the parent has to abide by the state. And it's the state, like our pod said, who makes the requirements of everything that the children need to learn. And the children is also in school for 2/3 of the day. So that's pretty much for like 20 years of their life. So even though the parent does have a say, it's really the student relying on the school where they're at for most of the day. And if they don't have a good home life, they look towards the school, which is their second home, which is kind of why we decided that it was a little bit more of the state than the parent, but like other groups that it could be the parent first.
Interesting. Now, especially with the United States, if I were to ask this question in China, it would be a different. You know that it's going to be a different this conversation. Where do you think China will come down? With the this is 40? Where do you think it? Yeah. You think they'll- So that's why I really wanted to ask that question. Yeah, because we're supposed to be right? Every time of the book is all over the world. Yes, I said, you know, you really wonder. But some just something just caught my ears yesterday. Last night about groups of people fighting about parental rights. And I'm thinking, wait, I already have that. and then I thought, oh, maybe we don't. So I thought, okay, maybe I should just ask the class that question. If I had my kids, who do they belong? Do they belong to me or do they belong to me? But I really like your thoughts though, because you're absolutely right. It was all parents once upon a time, but then when you consider issues like abuse, like neglect, for example, or just the inability of some families to take care of them, then that's when you see step. And many of you will probably be familiar. Let me know if you are familiar with it. Actually, it's what words states. Are you familiar with that? These are already adults. He's also silent, so I don't know why, but it's coming. So anyway, so that's the thing. It's when you really think about it, there was a time that the state had to begin to make up these laws where, okay, if parents are not taking care of their kids, that's the future of our society. We need to step in and do something. And we did that. But then there are also some parents who are pushing back and saying, no, you cannot make those rules for us. Have we are responsible. Yeah? We abide by the law. We do everything that we're supposed to do. We take care of our kids. We don't neglect them. We don't abuse them. We send them to school. We feed them. We clothe them. They sleep well. And good time and all of it. We take care of all their needs. So you cannot be making rules that we have. So that was the time, that 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 just really gave me that one the child. Me or somebody else, as it the state. So especially I think it's a good question to take ask in the United States. So what you said, I think it's about party service and and there will be a reason for that. The good thing here is that what do you think if I were in a place where they'll say I don't have rights about my children, I'll be totally bothered and me very upset. But what are some of the things that you think will have in place in the United States that which if if the parents' rights were pushed through, these are parents who are really taking care of somebody on their rights. What are the things that are in place? That, mm, so let's say I see my child, I think the child is taken care of, go to school, I'm not breaking any law. Okay, so I think we are going to revisit. So we stay. You know, this provision now. And for her last chance because she has, she was in that office that we have all experienced issues and things like that. So I think I'd like to invite her so that she can talk about it there. But I don't know, just, and I will go to the why somebody not comfortable to do. So, but you're absolutely right. One of you really need to know about that. I think we take for granted that, you know, our children know. You know, just expect that you take care of the child, you support the child, you feed the child, you bathe the child, you make sure that the child is well groomed and all of that. You do everything that you can for that child. But wait, when somebody else actually with my child, you know. So we really take a lot of inconvenience between that, you know, in some instances, the first part, parents are encroaching on my child, in my parental right. So I don't know, but I think that we need to do lots of discussion. There are things I see that were just never there. It's all like I can see it is controversial like this is. I can see that God will be talking to well, oh no, that stuff belongs to me. So but up to just so that they're not taking just put their put your ears on it. Wait, what happened? So probably know me, I was just talking about all right. Guys, on the one hand, there's this massive redirect of this house, over, you know, especially for schools too. That is why we as people really need to be careful. So that we can that we have what they need to be for and then fight. So those redirect things, we have some rules that make it difficult to agree with I mean, I'm not saying that there is to keep your ears to the difficult. So, um, so I'm glad that I brought that to you guys. And one of the I gave that example. You know, we also thought that it is not the same as we do. So I think it's about that. Just as the law, one of the laws is that in the United States, you would need to send your son to school just to do that. So doesn't make it like it, but 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 we have to do that. And not what they start. Not working at all. We still have questions on things. But, 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 there are just some things that you can cope with. If your child is with, that was really, interesting and what, right now I was saying, it's like 60-40. I'm thinking, which part is 60? 60-40. So it's not quite there yet, but I can see why you want that. So, so let's begin to continue to think about things like that. So keep your ears to the ground and the listening, use guidance for things that can be clear that may be of the. Another thing I try to today is how there's likely to be healthcare or daycare system coming into the possibility of the footage. Are you agreeing with that? Yeah, so that's another thing I thought about childcare. There's just so part of the reason is because the this is the state of the reform. One of the things that is here for that is that family so that PA so that the lead teacher, the infant room cannot have speech. So everybody will do. We cannot find people to work in childcare. So where do you want us to find these teachers? It takes time for us to train, for them to get training. It takes time for them to get certified. Where do you want them to find people? So with the right, several people were out there thinking, why does them have to shut down? Because we are depending on this yes to help us. If they're saying we must have a teacher, then we don't know where we're gonna get. So it was a special WG. So that was just a lot of things that were in on the news. My guest proctor. Listening to. So yeah, keep your ears to the ground. There's a lot of children on the news that you that will just pick your interest just to see what's in the States, especially. Actually around the United States of America, but especially in the States. So keep your ears to the ground and think from you and maybe not always right next. Right intention. So I hope that we'll continue to engage, like we have all engaged this evening, like singing, talking, like, doing stuff. One of the time. So I'm gonna let you go. And, so just working, just populating each of the models. And start having.
You want to be a for next week for the journal?
really don't come to them.
Good night, bye-bye.